Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be sharing with you 10 drugstore dupes that rival high-end makeup. I try to do these videos every couple of months, whether I have 10 dupes, 15 dupes, 20 dupes. I usually like to wait until I have 15 or 20 before I put out a video like this. But based on feedback I've gotten in past videos, I've been told quite a few times that I don't really need to wait until I have a specific amount of dupes to do a dupes video. But I don't know, I just personally prefer to wait until I have at least 10. And it does take me a while to find these dupes because if you've watched my previous dupes videos, you know that I am quite picky when it comes to dupes. I have seen so many drugstore products be called dupes for a specific high-end product, and when I've tried them myself, I really didn't feel like they were dupes at all. It can't just be that they're in similar packaging. It can't just be that they're similar in color. They have to be similar in formula, in my opinion, and they have to perform just as well as the high-end, if not better, meaning they have to have the same amount of pigmentation and wear time, all of those things. And of course, I can't guarantee that you'll find these to be exact dupes in the way that I do. So whether you call them dupes or whether you call them alternatives, I truly feel that you would not be able to tell the difference between the dupe and the higher end product. I have done my makeup using the high-end products on one side and the dupes on the other, and I do not think that you could tell which side is which. And if you want to take a guess, just let me know in the comments which side you think is the high-end side and which side you think is the dupes side. Starting with what I currently have on my lips, which I've got to say is probably my favorite dupe of all. This is the Gucci Brilliant Soft Glow Lipstick in Sally Soft Honey. It retails for $42. This lipstick is super shiny. It feels incredible on the lips. It's a beautiful everyday color. However, if you do not want to spend $42 on one lipstick, I highly recommend this lipstick from L'Oreal. It is from the Glow Paradise collection, and this is called Nude Heaven. It is almost identical. It feels the same on the lips. It has that same shine. Can you tell the difference? Sally Soft Honey on top, L'Oreal on the bottom. They are both perfect everyday lip colors. I have paired them with lip liners. And for the Sally Soft Honey top lip, I used the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Medium Lip Cheat. And the dupe I'm wearing on my bottom lip is this pencil from Essence. It is called Because Duh. Even though when I do these dupes videos, I try to have the products be in similar packaging or have similar applicators, in this case, I did just go by color alone. I couldn't believe what a good match these both were. You honestly cannot tell the difference on your lips. There's only the slightest difference when they're swatched, as you can see. I've got to tell you, this Essence lip pencil is actually longer wearing than the Charlotte Tilbury. Okay, here's another dupe I'm really excited about. I love the brand Charlotte Tilbury, and I love Charlotte Tilbury's lipsticks. I think I own almost all of them. And one of my favorite shades that came out, I believe it was last summer, was this one called Catwalking. It's such a beautiful nude. It's got a hint of pinky peach to it. And I have found that Milani's Color Fetish Matte Lipstick in Pleasure is a spot-on dupe. When I swatch these next to each other, I could not believe how nearly identical not only do they look in color, but also in feel and finish. I mean, I'm looking at it again right now, and I am just shocked at how similar they are. And if you put this Milani in this Charlotte packaging and called it Catwalking and gave it to me, I would think you gave me the same lipstick as this. I'm pretty sure I've heard some people compare Pleasure to Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk lipstick. But honestly, after swatching all three, I really feel like it's a closer match to Catwalking. Okay, I do have two more lip dupes to show you, but I wanted to switch things up for a moment and go to blush. I'm wearing, as I said earlier, two different blushes. One is Dolce Vita from Nars. I currently only have the mini. I used to own it in the full size. I don't know what happened to it, but I was applying this the other day, and as I was applying it, I was thinking, This looks a lot like another blush that I use. That gives me this same exact look. It's the perfect neutral pink with a hint of brown, and then I came upon it. One of my favorites that I rave about all the time in my videos. This is from Revlon. This is the shade Apricot. Look at these two next to each other. Completely the same. The same finish, the same shade, the same longevity, much better price. Okay, moving on to another blush. I have spoken many times in my videos about how much I love these liquid blushes from Rare Beauty. I have almost all of them. There isn't a shade in the range that I don't use and really like. One of my favorites though is this one called Hope. They're not super expensive to begin with, and they last a really, really, really long time because they're so highly concentrated. A little bit goes such a long way. That said, I do know there are a lot of you watching who would prefer to spend $4 versus $20 on a liquid blush that performs just as good and looks the same on the skin. This is the She Glam Color Bloom Liquid Blush in the shade Love Cake. And my apologies, I misspoke. This is not $4, it's actually $5. Still an amazing price. I know She Glam isn't technically drugstore because you do have to order it online. However, I wanted to include it in this video because when I swatched the two next to each other and I saw how close they were in so many ways, I felt like I really wanted to include it in this video. Now, some of you might be wondering, Risa, what is on your eyes today? Well, about a month or so ago, maybe it's been 2 months now, I think I used this palette from NYX in a testing hot new makeup video. This is the Ultimate Queen Eyeshadow Palette. And as I was working with this palette and becoming more and more impressed with it as I applied the matte shades, they were all extremely pigmented and blendable. The shimmers are beautiful. I kept looking at the palette itself and thinking, what does this remind me of? Much like what happened with the Nars Dolce Vita blush, I was using this and just could not stop thinking about what it reminded me of. And lo and behold, I discovered what it reminded me of. One of my favorite palettes of all time, the Too Faced Sweet Peach. Look at these two next to each other. They have so many similar shades in them. And obviously, based on my eye makeup you see here, you can get an identical look using these palettes. And if you've been eyeing this palette but just never pulled the trigger on it, I would honestly go for this one from NYX. It might be limited edition. If that's the case, I'm really sorry, but at last check, it was still available at Ulta and also on the NYX website. You may be able to find it in some of your local drugstores that carry NYX products. So I highly, highly, highly recommend this palette right here. And here are some swatches of the palettes side by side. Over here, you've got the NYX palette, and then on this side, farther up my arm, is the Too Faced side. All right, 6 down, 4 to go. Let's move on to complexion before I show you those final 2 lip dupes. First up is MAC Studio Fix. It's called Mattifying 12-Hour Shine Control Primer. I purchased this back in February. I was out of town, I was going to an event, and I stopped into the MAC store to purchase a foundation because I had self-tanned and I just needed one that was darker than what I had brought with me. So I ended up getting this primer. Went back to my hotel room, did my makeup for the night. I was really, really impressed with how well this primer worked and helped to control the oil on my very, very oily skin throughout the night. And I had been doing some dancing, so I was warm, and I just felt like I did not get nearly as shiny as I normally do. So needless to say, I was really happy with my purchase. But you know what's a great dupe for it? This L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock. After I got home from my trip, I did a little experiment. I used the mattifying one day, and throughout the day, as I would look in the mirror, I would pay special attention to how my skin was looking, how much shine was coming through, and then I did the same thing the next day with the L'Oreal. And not only do they feel the same on the skin, my makeup went over the primer just as easily for both. I didn't get any pilling, I didn't get any tackiness, and they both did the job that they're supposed to do. They helped to control my oil better than so many other primers out there on the market. So if you have oily skin, if you get shiny, especially going into the summer months, I highly recommend checking out either of these. They're so good. All right, moving on to concealer. If you have heard good things about the Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer, you heard correctly. This is a really excellent creamy concealer. It's high coverage, a little bit goes a long way. I don't have any trouble with it creasing under my eyes or settling into fine lines. I honestly don't talk about this concealer enough, and I think it's because I originally thought that the shade was too light for me, so I sort of set it aside. But then as I was a little bit slacking in applying my self tanner and I started using some lighter foundations, I just discovered that the shade actually wasn't so bad, so I started using it more and more, and the more I used it, the more I really fell in love with it. However, I do think that this CoverGirl is a very close dupe. Both have the doe foot applicator, kind of a jumbo-sized doe foot applicator. But aside from that, I do find the coverage to be very similar, as well as the consistency, as well as the concentration. I can pretty much use the same amount of either of these to get the same coverage, and that doesn't always happen. Sometimes with a higher end concealer, you can use a little bit, it will go a long way. You'll use one from the drugstore and you'll need to use more because it's just not as concentrated or as spreadable. But this CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer, I think does just as good a job at concealing my dark circles and just performing beautifully under my eyes. All right, let's get into those final two lip products. I'm sure, like a lot of you, I am a huge fan of NYX Butter Glosses, and one of my favorite shades is a newer one called Bit of Honey. And I think it is an incredible dupe for this new lip gloss from Nars in the shade Chelsea Girls. They are both so shiny, lightweight, non-sticky. They wear about the same amount of time. You can never expect a gloss to wear a really long time. Whenever I put on a lip gloss, I do it with the understanding that I am most likely going to have to reapply it. So if a $26 lip gloss is not in your budget, or you just don't want to spend that much on a lip gloss, I highly recommend picking up this one from NYX, especially in this shade Bit of Honey. Okay, my final dupe is for this beautiful pink lipstick from Huda Beauty called Angel. This is the Power Bullet Cream Glow Hydrating Lipstick. It does feel really comfortable on the lips. It does truly hydrate your lips. It is a beautiful formula. It contains something called Maxi Lip, which is a pro collagen plumping formula. It contains vitamins A, C, and E. It's extremely conditioning. So there are a lot of good for you ingredients in this $25 lipstick. However, if you are just looking for a similar color and you want something with a similar finish, which is kind of like a slight sheen, a lipstick with a slight sheen, then I would look into this one from L'Oreal. This is called New Impertinente, number 173. Now again, it doesn't contain the same ingredients as the Huda Beauty, but it does keep your lips soft, it's non-drying, and it lasts all day long. I find that this one actually lasts longer on my lips than the Huda Beauty. So there you have it. Those are 10 hopefully new to you dupes for high-end makeup. All of the products will be listed and linked down below in the description box. If you did enjoy this video, I really appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you in the Risa Does Makeup family. All you need to do is hit that subscribe button. I do try to upload new content at least twice per week. You can also find more content from me on Instagram and TikTok under the same username, Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.